All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the TDME Crypto Decrypted session. Welcome back, everyone. Good afternoon. And I'm hoping that everyone, or I trust that everyone is doing well. It's a Friday. Welcome to a Friday. Welcome to a Crypto Decrypted session. I'm hoping, before we start with the session, I'm hoping that the sound is good. There won't be any music in this particular session, but in the next coming sessions, there will definitely be music and the whole ambiance and everything. All right. Welcome back, everyone. We do this every Friday at 2 p.m. This is the trading room in line with the other trading rooms we have. This is the one where we talk strictly about cryptocurrency. All right. We do a trading session on cryptocurrency with our TDME. All right. So I hope everyone is doing well. And I think let's jump straight into it. Right. Remember, guys, in case or for the benefit of those who do not know, we do have our crypto exchange, our TD Markets exchange. And what you see right now is the website for you to sign up to trading derivatives in our platform, in our exchange platform, right? Remember, we have the FX side of things and we've got the crypto side of things, right? So if you want to trade derivatives on the exchange, which I'm going to show you guys shortly, this is the website to go, tdmarkets.io. It's on the chat right now, tdmarkets.io. All right, and this will take you to this page, a simple page to navigate. All right, you can just scroll down, very simple. All you gotta do is to sign up, put in what's required, the details that are required there, and once you're done, it will then take you straight to our derivatives platform, which looks something like this. All right, so we're going to talk more about this. This is in fact the focus for today. This is definitely the focus for today. Let me just do this. There we go. I think it's much better now. All right, so on that note, welcome back, everyone. Jules, I can see you. Thank you for joining us, and to all the rest of you guys who are watching live. All right, so let's get right into it. Yesterday, I briefly touched on crypto in our FX trading room, and I told you guys that we'll talk more about crypto in today's session. All right, and I want us to look at the fundamentals, but nothing has changed much. Nothing has changed much. What we spoke about last year, it's exactly the same thing. Nothing has changed much. So we're going to go over some indicators just to get a sense of what's happening in the space. And then we're going to have a look at some charts. All right. So first things first, let's go back. All right. We spoke about this before. This is the ETF tracker, right? Crypto ETF tracker. It only tracks the BTC and ETH ETFs, or Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. All right. So this is where now we're starting to understand the flow and the rotation of capital. Remember, crypto is a little bit different to FX. Crypto, we're talking about wallets, we're talking about blockchain, we're talking about ledgers, we're talking about the rotation of funds. All right. And so this is the ETF tracker that shows you and I how funds has been rotated. All right. So as you guys can see, basically this whole week, there's been some positive inflows, or there's been some positive ETF flows. So what this means here, guys, is that we can see that we've got a pivot. All right. Anything above the zero is inflows. Anything below that is outflows. So whenever there's inflows into that underlying asset, it tends to appreciate in value. So say you've got Bitcoin inflows. Bitcoin is going to appreciate in value. And the same is true with the outflows. Bitcoin will then depreciate in value with the outflows. So this week alone, there's been inflows. In fact, the start of this year, there's just been inflows, ETH, BTC inflows. What does that do, right? What does that do? It appreciates the price of that underlying asset. It appreciates the price of that BTC or ETH. All right. So this is what we're seeing right now. What's happening? All right. And then if we go to other indicators like your fear and greed, nothing has changed basically. Right. I think the market is still on the fear side. Right. It's 50 at the moment. It's neutral. We're gonna combine this with the technicals shortly. All right. The altcoin season index The altcoin season index states that we are still in the Bitcoin season, right? We are not in the altcoin season. We are in the Bitcoin season, but Bitcoin has been falling. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. All right. So I think this is enough for now for us to understand what's happening in the crypto. Remember what I said the last time. I told you guys that, the banks are buying crypto, right? The majority of the banks are buying crypto. And then you've got financial institutions that are buying crypto to expand their reserve. There are positive regulations in the US about crypto, right? And there are certain regulations on different nations and states, which is positive towards crypto, right? So that on its own tells you that fundamentally crypto should be bullish, okay? But now price has been falling. Let's go to the chart, all right? We're gonna use BTC in this case, just to explain this point. So I'm just gonna expand this. Just one moment. There we go. Okay, cool. There's a question: can I fund with finance? Definitely, you can. You can fund your TDME account with finance. Yeah. Great stuff. So we can see what's been happening, right? Crypto fell. We spoke about this move, guys. We spoke about this move on the previous sessions, but this is where manipulation was happening. The fundamentals were screaming bullish, but price fell down. And that was because of manipulation. All right. So what are we seeing now? What are we seeing now? We're seeing that crypto is slowly picking up. Bitcoin is slowly picking up. I'm going to refer to Bitcoin, guys, because it takes a big chunk of the market cap. If we go to the market cap right now, right, I want to show you guys something, right? If you go to the market cap, let's go to cryptocurrency there. Just one second. All right, so there is, okay, let me click on Bitcoin. I want to show you the market cap. Great stuff. So just gonna load now. Just give it a second. So we're gonna look at the total market cap and the percentage that Bitcoin takes out of that total market cap. All right, great stuff. Okay, so the total market cap I think is around 3 trillion. 3 trillion. I'm just looking for. Just one second, guys, because this is the Bitcoin market cap. This one, all right. Let's go back slightly. Let's wait for this to load. Yeah, so we're gonna see the total market cap and what Bitcoin did. There we go. Now have a look at this. The total market cap in crypto is 3 trillion, right? $3.23 trillion. That is the total market cap. Now look how much Bitcoin takes of that. Look how much Bitcoin takes of that. Bitcoin takes I think it's $1.9 trillion, right? That shows you that Bitcoin obviously is the number one crypto. It takes about 1.9 trillion, right? So what does this mean? It means that whatever Bitcoin does, it's going to affect the total market cap. Whatever Bitcoin does, it will affect the total market cap. So to explain this better, I'm going to use Bitcoin, all right? And then we're going to go to the altcoins. So Bitcoin is picking up slightly, right? I'm in fact looking for a trade on Bitcoin. So on our platform, easy, simple platform to go over, all right? We do have, remember, we do have crypto classes as well during the day. So if you want to learn crypto, you want to learn how to trade crypto and how the crypto market works, we do have classes. Just pop us an email and then we will definitely assist you there, all right? So if you take a look at what's been happening in the market, right? We use TradingView as our platform. So Bitcoin obviously fell. And then what's important is this price here. That price, that is what's important right now. So we are seeing Bitcoin pushing back to that price. All right. We are seeing Bitcoin making its way back to that price. So there's a higher probability that we're going to get this, right? But now with this price action, there are two scenarios we can get here. There's a possibility that Bitcoin can go back to that price from these lows, do this, or it can go from where it is, right? There's a possibility that before we go up, we are going to see Bitcoin first coming back down, giving us one more push towards the downside, and then to go back up. Remember, guys, all right, the market can go down one more time. So if you think this is the reversal, the market can attempt to go there one more time. Okay, so don't forget that. Now, these are the possibilities here, right? We're anticipating Bitcoin to go back to $107,000, which is basically on the zone. Let me just do this, which is basically around the zone right there. All right, let me change this color. Let's make it a little bit brighter. Let's make this a little bit brighter. There we go. Right. So now this move to the upside, it can give us a complete reversal, right? And that is basically the point here, that once we get that push towards the upside, it can give us this big reversal. It can give us this big reversal, because you will notice that technically, if we have a look at this chart here, you will notice that there is momentum that's building towards the upside because this structure has changed, right? Or is changing. So if you take a look at this structure here, this structure is changing. I'm going to change this color also. There we go. This structure is changing. Therefore, this is an early sign that we are building momentum towards the upside. So we have created this low. Down here. All right. And then from that low, price has pushed towards the upside. So now that test of this neckline is what we're anticipating. You see how it is. So from here, guys, there are two possibilities we can see, right? The first possibility is that we can get a push back to that area there, provided we get enough confirmation and enough price action, because you will notice here that we have this area of resistance that is broken, that area of resistance, right? So we could easily get a retest of this and then get a move towards the upside. So it could be something like this. That is one possibility, right? What Bitcoin can do. And that could be a nice risk and reward ratio, like 1:5 risk and reward ratio. All right. So if we can get a retest of this, then we'll be looking for a push towards the upside. All right. That is one possibility. Now, what if Bitcoin drops from here? Well, if Bitcoin drops, then we're waiting for it to come back to this low. So this will be another plan for Bitcoin. If it happens that Bitcoin drops, then we're waiting for it to come back down to this low, and we will be looking for this now, right? For a trade like this, something like this, right? This is where we will be looking for a push towards the upside there. But that price level, that $107,000, guys, it's a very important price, right? And what happens with the market is that the market tends to go back to these significant prices. So $107,000 is a significant price according to the structure, just like $124,000, a significant price. All right, this $80,000 also a significant price. So the market can go back to those prices because that's where a lot of activity took place before. That's where a lot of volumes or orders were filled. You see how it is. So Bitcoin, this is how we're looking with Bitcoin, right? If it goes down one more time, obviously it needs to break below the structure. Then this could be a short, all right? But then from here, looking for a continuation up. But if it bounces from there, then we're just looking for a continuation towards the upside, which can ultimately take us all the way back there. All right. So this is what Bitcoin is doing, right? So I can't put any order at the moment. As you guys can see on the right hand side, we've already spoken about this margin calculator, right? On our exchange, you've got this margin calculator. It will calculate everything for you. You will be able to see the value of your position, the margin that's required, and the fees. All right. So on the previous session, that's exactly what we covered. So in terms of analysis, with the positive inflows, let's go back to the crypto inflows. With the positive Bitcoin inflows, what that does is that it pushes the price of Bitcoin towards the upside. Look at these inflows that have come in. All right. The orange color is the Bitcoin, the blue one is the Ethereum. All right. So there hasn't been much in the last 24 hours. There haven't been much inflows, but on the 14th, on the 13th, on the 12th, there've been like inflows. So in the last 24 hours, there hasn't been much. So we're waiting for today's inflows, or net flows. Waiting for today's net flows for us to know what's happening. All right. If now we get outflows, right? If we get outflows, what could happen with Bitcoin? If we get outflows, guys, then Bitcoin has the possibility of giving us this now. It has the possibility of giving us this trade back down, right? So as it is right now, outflows will give us this move. Outflows will give us this move. All right? Outflows will give us this move. Let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. There we go. So BTC outflows equals to bearish price action. Bearish price action, right? So this is where now we're gonna look for that. But inflows, BTC inflows, bullish price action. Bullish price action. There we go. And with this one now, we're gonna look at this setup now to the upside. So you've got this one to the downside as a result of bearish outflows, but for bullish inflows, we are looking for this, something like this. All right, outflows and inflows there. So let's see what's going to happen. We are prepared. All right, we are prepared. Let's see what's going to happen. We are prepared for whatever happens. We are prepared. All right, just like this. So we just have to follow this tracker. We just have to follow this tracker, guys, right? Follow this tracker. In terms of the altcoin season index, nothing much to take out of that. What's driving the markets right now is these inflows and outflows as a result of manipulation, right? Remember, the regulation in the US is bullish for Bitcoin, is bullish for crypto, right? So what's happening right now is manipulation. Bitcoin should have broken the all-time high a long time ago, right? It should have broken the all-time high a long time ago. But because of what's been happening, this is what or how we can position ourselves. All right. Now let's have a look at Ethereum now. So Bitcoin, this is what we're looking at. This is the plan. Either we're going to go down one more time because of this, and this we're going to go up one more time. All right. We're obviously looking at this price action there. All right. Now Ethereum, in fact, I've got a pending order on Ethereum. I've got a buy limit on Ethereum, right? As you guys can see at the bottom of the screen there, I've got a buy limit on Ethereum, right? I've got a buy limit on 3243 on Ethereum, right? My stop loss and my take profits are here, right? So now with this one, obviously my buy limit has not been triggered as yet because it is here. Let me show you guys where it is. Right, my buy limit is somewhere here. My buy limit is somewhere here. All right. So I'm looking at this sort of price action where I'm anticipating it to take me back to this high, to that high. So something like this, right? Now, the reason for this order is because obviously the net flows, we just spoke about the net flows, what's happening, all right? So now the reason I'm anticipating this is because from a technical point of view, you have this situation where you have this channel that is forming. See this channel? We've got this channel that is forming. Now we are looking at price going back to where it's coming from. So look at how it's creating a nice support and resistance. So now the idea is we are looking for price to go back to that top, right? So something like this, to go back to that top from a technical point of view. So obviously we need ETF inflows to give us this push, right? We need Ethereum ETH inflows, right? We need ETH inflows to give us this move. So anticipating a retest of this and then a continuation towards the upside. A continuation towards the upside there, right? According to this. So this is just the only possibility I'm going with here. The only possibility. So my order, like I said, my order is on 3243. Let me just put it 3243. 3243.8. This is where my order is, and then I've got my stop loss on 3150, my take profit on 3527.8. So this is basically how I'm looking, right? In fact, my take profit should be there. This is how I'm looking here. So I need these ETF inflows for us to get that push towards the upside. You see how it is? So it doesn't make sense, according to this price action, it doesn't make sense for price to go back to this low again, right? It doesn't make sense for price to go back to this low again. But if it happens that it goes back to this low, I mean, this could be a nice setup to look at, right? Because we are looking at this risk and reward ratio. We're looking at this risk and reward ratio. Like that. There we go. There we go. There we go. So that is Ethereum. All right. Whatever happens in the market, Bitcoin, Ethereum will move first. All right. And if you look at the altcoin season index, the altcoin season index states that we are in the Bitcoin season, right? We're in Bitcoin season. Look at that, right? We're in Bitcoin season. Only 24 out of 100 best performing altcoins. We only have 24 best performing altcoins out of 100, right? So if it says 100 over 100, what does 100 over 100 means? It means that there are 100 best performing coins over 100, right? And those coins are altcoins. So if there's 24 out of 100 and even 30, that means we are still on the Bitcoin season, right? You guys can see, let me just remove that. You guys can see this is where we are right now, all right? There. So these are just the coins that we see. So for this to be altcoin season, this thing has to go to 100 there. All right. So we're in the Bitcoin season right now. Altcoins are suffering. Altcoins are suffering. All right. So this means that we should be getting a push on Ethereum towards the upside and Bitcoin also towards the upside. All right. So there's plenty of opportunities, plenty. I mean, we are waiting for this. I've got my pending order there. In fact, with Bitcoin, let me go back to Bitcoin, right? With Bitcoin, we are looking at, let me remove this. We're looking at basically price giving us a retest of this zone, right? Basically this zone. So I think I'm going to go ahead with a pending order there. I think I'm going to go ahead with a pending order, something like this. Let me just check something here quickly. Let's do this. I don't think it is ready as yet. Just 1 second. I don't think it is ready as yet. Ready as yet. All right, so the 50 and the 61.8 of, there we go. So the 50 and 61.8 of this Fibonacci retracement is right here, right? So the plan here would be to wait for this to do this, to wait for this to come back down here and then do this. That would be the plan. That would be the plan. So I'll be looking at Bitcoin to come back down here. Now let me show you what happened previously. So previously the same thing happened on this swing towards the upside here, right? So price came back down to the zone. Price came back down to the zone, and then what do we see there? We can see that the market went up, right? So anticipating the same thing with the Fibonacci for price to retrace back inside the zone and then to give us a higher low, there. So I'll be looking for a trade down here on Bitcoin, looking to take it all the way up there. All right, I'll definitely be looking for a trade to take it up there. One more retest and then a continuation up. All right, so let's see what's going to happen, guys, right? That is the analysis. So I gave you guys fundamentally what's going on in the crypto, which is the same thing we spoke about the last time, right? Nothing has happened, or nothing has changed. So we're just waiting for a continuation, right? Remember, we are looking for this. We are looking for this push to go up. We're looking for this kind of movement, right? We're looking for this sort of movement towards the upside. So the question is this a higher low, right? You see this low right here. Is it a higher low? That is the question, right? If this is a higher low, then we are looking for crypto to give us this move towards the upside, because this one too, like I said, it broke out of the channel. So we're looking for one more push, all right? But we're going to take it price action by price action. So while we're waiting for that one more push towards the upside, we're going to take it price action by price action. So for now, we're looking for a trade here going back up there, right? So this is how it goes, guys, right? And then simple, you're just going to choose your position size. You're just going to choose your leverage. And then boom. Whether you use a limit order or market order, just going to choose your position sizing, going to choose your leverage. Whatever you do, you will be able to see the details there, right? The value of your position, the margin used, and so forth and so on. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed just a quick rundown and then an update on our crypto. There isn't music in this session. Apologies for that. Just please bear with us. But in the next coming sessions, the music will be there, as you guys know, right? But yeah, hope everything makes sense. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let's meet again next week Friday. All right, let's meet again next week Friday for our Crypto Decrypted trading room. We do have the Tuesday and the Thursday one. We also do have crypto classes. If you want to learn how to trade crypto on the exchange, get in touch with us on our email, and then we'll provide education for you guys. There's a lot of education or demand in education for crypto trading. All right, so we provide that. So guys, hope everyone enjoyed. It is a Friday. Just take it easy. Hope you guys enjoyed. So over the weekend, let's monitor Bitcoin and let's see how it's going to move. From my side, have a good weekend. Have a good Friday. Have a good weekend. We are signing out and enjoy yourself. Cheers, guys. TDME.